You're listening to a main feed episode. Go to patreon.com/Celtic Ligers where €5 a month gets you weekly full-length episodes, stray bonus content and access to the back catalogue. Also helps cover hosting and gives us money for sweeties. Thank you. Celtic Ligers.
Recorded 6th of March 2025.
Take four.
Take four. So yeah, we tried to record an episode before, and didn't work out.
The vibes were bad. The vibes were off.
The vibes were off. I didn't like what I was saying. Now, some of you may hear James eating. Okay, but just before we started recording, he decided to eat his crisps. So. You're at least just hearing him eat. You're hearing him eat a bar of chocolate. Now, what bar of chocolate are you eating, James?
Fulfill.
It's
like a chocolate cappuccino bar.
It's funny that, like, I don't care about the noises. Like, I don't care about mouth noises, like people chewing. But when I hear like things crinkling, I get really pissed off about it. So, yeah. Don't tell your bro when you hate something, because then you know he's got to do it, you know?
You made a big mistake, man. Now I know what pisses you off. Yeah, I was starving. I'm so glad waiting for the podcast to start. I haven't eaten all day.
Yeah, it's a satisfying bag of crisps and a bar of chocolate. That'll be a good lunch. Is that really what you eat for lunch? You don't have like a sandwich or something?
Sometimes I'll have a sandwich. In work, my beautiful work, I either bring a bar, it's like a cooked dinner.
Yeah.
Or I'll just eat like some oatcakes and a handful of cashews.
Okay. That's horrible.
I've been leaning into the bachelor lifestyle. You know,
Nice.
I'm 35, single. I think I'm just going to commit to the bit.
Yeah.
So I have one mug. I eat a lot of scrambled eggs.
You got when James is in the room, there's two fucking mugs. Am I right? Even if there's only one, if you're holding a mug, you got two mugs in the room. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's a comedy podcast. Lighten up.
No, it's serious.
Sorry.
I go to therapy. My therapist keeps saying I'm interested.
Yeah, you are.
I don't want my therapist to say it.
Yeah, it's like, you see all sorts of fucked up people. You tell me that I'm interested.
Yeah.
Man, I got problems.
Point to my mug. That says,
Yeah, that's what it says on it.
fuck me, I'm crazy.
Yeah, you don't have to be crazy to be me, but it helps.
We have a very similar mind, I think, me and him. Oh, well. Did you see Pat Inglesby died?
I don't know who that is.
Wow.
I have seen that he died. Everybody's going on about it.
Pat Inglesby is like he was a poet. He got polio when he was young. And he used to sit at College Green in Dublin selling his books of poetry. And he did a children's show. I always really felt a big affinity with him, you know? I was always like, there's that crazy old man with a limp doing his thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now he's dead at the tender age of 81.
He's 81?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah. It really hit me. Remember I was making fun of you that when you're upset that David Lynch died?
Yeah.
Well, the tables have turned. So go ahead.
Actually, David Lynch. I said that about Leslie Lee III saying that. I don't know. I really should stop bringing up this guy because there's not really much to it. I just find him.
He's a good freak to look at.
Yeah, but I said it already that he was saying that David Lynch, he got long COVID and died, and it was like David Lynch smoked like 30 cigarettes. Is that a lot or a little? Sorry, I don't know anything about cigarettes, but he smoked a lot of cigarettes. Okay, and then he developed emphysema. Okay, and then the LA fires happened, and then they moved him, and then he died like 24 hours later. You know what I mean? Like it was like the air killed him. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
But they asked David Lynch as well. They were like, "Do you regret smoking?" And he's like, "No, not a single one. I loved all of them." Like, so he's just like, I love that he was like, till the end, he was like, "I wouldn't take back a single cigarette." It was fantastic.
Yeah. Pat Inglesby, do you regret getting polio? No. I loved every minute.
But the other one that Leslie Lee III did, where he's always trying to find things where it's like mask up, get vaccinated, social distance, and then also
if you wear a mask in this day and age, like goodbye, you know what I mean?
Hey, unfollow me now. Unfollow me now. Not at the account, James's account. You continue to follow us even if you wear a mask on the main.
Subscribe to Celtic Ligers.
Yeah, actually, tell your friends to do that as well.
Do you think any of our fans wear masks in the big age of 2025?
Well, if they do, they're certainly not going to tell us now.
Right in.
We'll
start a new mask tier on the Patreon.
He's sitting out in the college campus. He's got a little sign up on the table saying, "Debate me," No,
I don't want to debate you.
Okay.
I just want to bully you. Yeah. Remember hearing bend over so I can hit you on the ass.
Yeah.
This is it. If you wear a mask on your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you wear a mask on your arse?
You have to elaborate on that one. I don't really understand the logic behind that.
Well, why not?
So, Leslie Lee III was showing some footage of like a plane, okay?
Yeah.
But the way, so planes in the United States now for the past while have all been crashing into each other and killing lots of people.
Do you know why?
Okay. Huh?
Do you know why?
Because of woke.
Yeah, it's like DEI.
Okay. It's not though.
It is.
All right.
Stands for those ethnics involved in flying. That is it's tearing this country apart.
All I know is that I don't give a shit enough about it to check, but I do remember on some podcast I listened to that was not the reason why it's happening. And anybody else can do the research. I'm not going to do the research. I don't care why the Americans seem to be intent on crashing planes into each other.
Yeah.
Or into the ground.
People give out, Republicans give out about DEI, about colored people being in office, right?
Colored people. All right, go on.
See where I'm going. Hold back your fire when you see where I'm going with this, They're afraid of colored people. Don't like saying that, but I need to for the punchline. Yeah, they should be less worried about black people, more concerned about the orange chap. They should be worried about Trump in the White House, the orange chap. That's the colour you should be worried about. Orange.
So when I was in secondary school, there was this black guy. I didn't mean to do that.
Crazy.
I just was like, just whispering. No, there was a black guy. There was a black kid in my class. All right. Yeah. But I think that like the teacher at one point referred to, I think he said like, African American to describe black people in America.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this guy's like, hey, that's racist. Okay.
Mm.
And then he's like, well, what do you want? What would you prefer to call? He's like, colored people. And I was like, everybody in the room was like, all these white kids suddenly going, well, I know what he said wasn't correct, but I know what you're saying is definitely wrong, you know? And then the teacher tried to do this thing where he's like reading a meme almost. Well, actually, technically, I keep about to say his name. Should I say his name? Does it matter? You know, some guy I went to secondary school with.
I don't know. Lagers?
I'll just call him.
You know what to do.
I'll call him Jack. It's not his name.
What was his name?
Eugene. So he goes like, well, actually, Jack, like, white people, we get blue in winter, we get red in summer, and we get green when we're sick. He's like, so actually, white people are the real colored people. It was that thing where it's like, you know, the liberal meme sort of thing about like, what point are you trying to make here exactly? He's like, I'm just trying to demonstrate to you that I'm tolerant by showing you that I'm kind of racist, you know?
Yeah, I'm just trying to de-escalate this whole situation.
Yeah, DEI escalate this.
Yeah, white people, they're blue in the winter, red in the summer, orange in the White House. Yeah. Yes.
And cash,
cash money.
We used to have cash in the summer. I'm getting a mix up with another joke, but anyway, Leslie Lee III is on this plane, okay, and
he's on the plane.
He's not on the plane. Sorry, he shows this footage of this plane where it seems to be in the air and smoke is filling the cabin, okay?
Yeah.
And somebody's been sharing this going like, what the fuck is going on with planes in America? And then he was like, apparently over the intercom, they're going like, breathe through your clothes. Pull your clothes up and breathe through your clothes. These fumes are toxic. And he's like, I wonder a method of fabric where you could breathe through it. And I was like, I think you're missing the wood for the trees here.
Yeah.
The point. Like,
He'll said that the Pope was dying of long COVID.
Yeah, he has, which is great, yeah.
Turns out the Pope's not dying at all. False alarm.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, now he is. Oh wait, no, he's not. Oh wait, now he is. Yeah.
Trying to remember, did we talk about who the next Pope is going to be on the last episode?
I don't know. This is going to be so annoying trying to remember if we said it 2 episodes ago or 1 episode ago. The one that we decided to not release. It's too dangerous.
Let me think. What else in the news? Trump
and Zelensky.
You see, before we get to that, Elon, a new perspective on his body dropped.
Yeah. Was it the haircut, was it?
Oh, that one as well. But one is just him standing at a new angle.
Yeah.
And like his front is so big. Like,
yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah.
Like he doesn't even look fat. It's just like, well, he doesn't look fat, but
yeah.
It's just like it's like on The Sims or one of those wrestling games. You just like extended the front.
To me, it looks like a body that's pulled out of a river, you know?
Yeah.
Lying on a slab, and then, some fucking what's his name? David Caruso from CSI Miami, and he's coming in, and they're like, we found him next to the gators. His belly's all swollen up, his eyes are like either side of his head, and then they have the flashback of what happened. He's on the back of some, fan craft, and then he gets hit by an oar. So that's why his skull got cracked in 3 places. That's why his face is like spread off, in all these different directions.
He tried fucking an alligator.
And then clearly the final insult to the killer was to give him a shitty haircut as well.
Do you think humans can crossbreed with alligators?
Elon's working on it, yeah.
Do you ever? I think we talked about it on the pod before about the monkey that's half human.
I don't think so because I don't know that one.
I know you're going to say it's Trump because he's half orangutan, but it's
wrong.
It's just there's a monkey. It was in the 70s and it could smoke cigars.
Okay.
And it was bald.
Yeah.
I know you're going to say this sounds just like Trump in the White House. But
Yeah, smoking cigars, famously.
I know you're going to say it's... did you see Elon Musk on the Joe Rogan show?
That was so funny. Like, he's on there all the time. They're like, this guy's a fucking genius. And then it's like, he just looks like your dickhead cousin showing you something on his phone.
Yeah. And
I
like,
wanted to say boobs. And then Joe Rogan, yeah.
You see the bit where Joe Rogan is... he goes, what's it like? You bought Twitter for 40 million and everyone's calling you a fascist on it.
Mm.
And then like Musk pauses and he goes, I did not see that coming.
Oh my God.
And like,
I hate
Rogan
this
is
guy.
like pissing himself laughing. And then Musk goes, here's the one about like they just Google it up. And then your man is like trying to move on, Joe Rogan. And like Musk goes, wait a minute. And he's like trying to think of another one. And then they just have to move on.
Did you see there was a video of him waiting for Trump to do, I don't know what, State of the Union or whatever it was. But some like a fan of Elon is saying like, you know, doing this thing where they're trying to imagine the fucking incredible thoughts going through this dickhead brain, you know. But he's like, he looks there, and when you see the footage, like, you know, me just looking at the footage, I'm like, God, he looks like the stupidest fucking idiot ever. His little eyes like darting around, and he looks like a bug, you know.
Yeah.
And then this person is like, these columns are so inefficient. There should be 3 support structures over there in the Capitol building. And they're kind of like, this guy's mind, it just can't fucking turn off.
Yeah.
He's probably thinking of all these incredible things all the time.
That's what my mind is like. You know?
Yeah.
Coming up with incredible political takes 24/7.
Yeah.
You know, like Trump is orange. His hair is Elon's weird looking.
I gotta send you this. Wait, hold on. Did you see the? I mean, you have no reason to see it, but I was like looking up articles for the show today, and I was on the Irish Times, and the latest Martin Turner cartoon, which gave me a chuckle. I'll send it over to you. And please describe what's happening. Your intellectual equal.
Time to do battle with another riddle from Martin Turner.
Yeah, get ready for this one.
Okay.
There it is. Should be there with you.
Whoa. So it's what's JD Vance?
Yeah, I know, because I was looking up. This guy is 77 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta take it easy on him. Like, but I was really like pissed off with that drawing of JD Vance because it looks so stupid. It looks so fucking bad. It looks nothing. It just irritates me so much.
And then there's Trump with his classic bald spot.
Before we leave JD Vance, the idea of giving him a skinny neck, what was that about?
And like dark cheekbones. Like I've been enjoying the picture, you know, the ones that make him look like a weird bloated child. And so from left to right, there's JD Vance, and above his head it says Trump doctrine. And then there's a U, and then there's Trump, Cheeto in Chief. And he's wearing a suit. He's looking a bit worse for wear, if I have to say so myself. Then there's S. And
letter
then
S.
What?
The letter S. Just because you were...
Yeah, these are all letters. And then there's
JD Vance, and those aren't letters. But there's JD Vance, then there's the letter U, then there's Trump, then there's the letter S.
Yes, and then there's...
And now, please tell me.
Who is that?
Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that?
It's Marco Rubio?
Yes, it is. Okay, you got it. You
what
got it.
a poll. Because it obviously looks like Netanyahu.
Yeah.
But it's wearing an American badge.
Well, to me, it looked like, if you were reading a Martin Turner book from like the 1980s, and then it'd be like, who's that? It's like, oh, that was the Speaker of the House at the time. I think his name was, Johnny McCarthy or something.
That's so
You'd
funny.
be like,
Look what I have in my hand right now.
oh my goodness. Martin Turner's greatest hits.
From the 80s. And then there's an A.
Mm.
And then then in the bottom row, those figures are left. Or should I say they're right.
Mm.
Far right.
Hey, what? Okay.
I'm saying Trump is right. And then,
there's somebody left to the left of it as well, so that's why it didn't really work.
So there's an or behind JD Vance. U. Then there's an S behind Trump. That should be T. And then there's an S, and then there's an I, and then there's an A. So it says Russia. So at the top one, you think it says USA with this colorful cast of characters. But then, you see, without them, if they left, Russia would take over USA. I think that's what it's saying.
That's probably what he's trying to say, yeah.
I'm going to get up. I want to... Remember we bought this book, the Martin Turner best of. Let's see what he was saying back in the 80s about Trump.
His stuff used to be... I used to like... Not like his... I never really understood the content of it, but the drawing, like... Would you believe that Martin Turner, when he wasn't 70 years old, he was a better artist than he is now?
So this is from 2003.
Okay,
I'll do one. John Liam Cosgrave, Jack Lynch, Hawley, Fitzgerald, Albert Reynolds, or John Burton. Or Bertie.
Bertie. If it's 2003, it'd probably have to be Bertie, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The first one doesn't make sense.
I actually had a moment today about like this podcast, and I was like freaking out at like the amount of work and hours that we put into it, and how in like 10 years time it's going to be fucking gibberish, in 3 years time it's going to be gibberish,
Yeah, I said 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. And you're like this. You like Tim Burton. What's her name? The old Minister for Health.
Mary Harney.
Yeah. Mary Harney, she's Edward Scissorman. And it says, Dáil, cut them off after 6 months. And cut tax rates. And if Fianna Fáil don't shape up, we'll cut our support to the government. And then Bertie.
Cut our wrists.
And then Bertie's there. He's just there. He's not saying anything. Mark, you've done it again.
Martin.
Yeah. I'll read you one more. This one's wicked. It's the same Mary Hardy and some other chap. Who was in the PDs?
Michael McDowell.
Could easily be
what's
him.
His name? Donagh O'Malley.
Anyway, it's one of them. Do you think we should discuss merging with Fianna Fáil? And then the other chap says, I don't know. We might as well just stay as we are. And they're in Bertie's coat pocket.
Kind of reminds me of certain Lowry lackeys coined by Ivana Bacik, thankfully. I can't take credit for that one. I can't take credit for that one.
And the funny thing is, he still has Bertie wearing the old anorak. I feel like Bertie only wore that in like the 80s.
Well, in Edward Edward Scissorhands was released in like 1994 or 93
Yeah.
or 91. Anyway, in the early 90s. So well, no, the PDs, it would have to be in the early 2000s.
I think this one is from 98.
Okay.
Yeah. 14th of June, 1998.
So maybe no, that's still too late. The anorak.
What was I going to say? Yeah, are we the modern day Martin Turner?
Yes. Well, we should be. We should actually make political cartoons. This is something that I really should be doing.
Let's come up with one right now for the folks at home.
Okay. What's in the news? Let me just look down through the list. So the main things that there are in the news are St. Patrick's Day, Dáil speaking time, getting rid of the triple lock, and then Zelensky and Trump. Okay.
Neil Martin dresses St. Patrick. No. Neil Martin in the White House. And St. Patrick is in the audience. And he's going, and by God, I wondered where the snakes went to.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
You fucking snake bastard.
I had one, and it's really... Okay, so I'm like trying to imagine, like, okay, I live in a real bougie part of Dublin, okay? There are three things that interest me, which is Brexit, the Cheeto in chief, and also war breaking out in Europe, and how we need to stop fucking sitting on the sidelines and start pulling our weight.
Now we're talking.
Just all this stuff like that. And then when the things that get me animated, add one more to the list then, I guess. So we have the triple lock, okay? And it's like, hey, we should be getting rid of the triple lock and not the lock boxes from my Airbnb.
Yeah. Here's one. It's Neil Martin. He's wearing a chastity belt, right?
Okay, yeah.
And there's 3 locks on the front.
Yeah.
And Simon Harris, he's cut off one of them.
Yeah.
And he's going, nearly there. I'm so horny.
Yeah, I can see it right now in that inimitable Martin Turner style.
And Bertie is there.
Yeah. He's just standing there. And then that little worm, you know that he has like a little worm character that goes down at the bottom and goes like, geez, I'd hate to be, da, 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 da. You know, like he's kind of, he's like the Garfield punchline a lot of the time.
Yeah, he's watching, he's going, Jesus, he's about to fuck Neil Martin.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the like?
If I had hands, I'd be rubbing them together.
Yeah. Yeah, the worm character is good, just to make sure no one misses it. What's another one? It's like all the... There's a pub, and the pub is closed, but people are still drinking inside. But one of them's called Russia, NATO, America, you know? And Ireland is serving the drinks frantically. And it's called... the worm is going triple lockhead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We shouldn't really be saying these out loud. We should be writing them down, drawing them, putting them out there.
Yeah.
When you started off about the pubs, I suddenly was thinking about like Foil Arms and Hog. And I was like, haven't checked in on them in a while. Have they done anything?
If they kill themselves, yeah. I was trying to describe the immigration sketches. The modern day one would be, I mean, I say modern day, I'm sure they're still doing them, but it's you know, when you're trying to get immigration into Roscrea, and you know, it's like, what's the national pint of Ireland? Guinness. What's the most legendary sport in the world? You know,
Yeah.
whatever. And then it's like, you get them all right. And it's like, I don't care if you get them all right. You know, and then he calls him like a black bastard or something. It's like,
He said it, not you.
Paul Tylock says it. And then
That makes it okay. Oh, yeah.
I'm only saying that because he plays every non-white race in every Foil Arms and Hog sketch.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
I'm just looking up Foil Arms and Hog, sorry, and seeing what they're talking about at the moment. 2 weeks ago, they had getting past Argentinian immigration.
Yes.
That's just scraping the bottom of the barrel at this stage.
Argentina. It'd be like, if we what about football, then what about beef?
That's literally in the thumbnail. Sorry, you just said, sorry. The thumbnail has a picture of a football and then a picture of a big steak on it.
I'm so good at guessing. Is there anything else? Not
there is two. Oh yeah, there's two more things that you maybe might get.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get them. I guess one more.
Yeah. Maybe don't. You go out on a high. I can just tell them to you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'm going to retire undefeated. It's like a bottle of red wine.
Right.
And then I think Maradona. Is he from Argentina? Am I wrong about that? Some footballer anyway.
Pele?
No, it's not Pele. He's Brazilian. I know that much. That's so funny. I'm trying to find if they've gone political about the neutrality.
They don't really want explaining political, to triple lock.
Sorry, James. Getting past Star Wars immigration. Just desperate.
Yeah.
Just
Getting past
ChatGPT
Family Guy
created.
immigration.
Getting past The Office immigration. And then it's like Jim doing a face,
What face do you do?
When you're looking at the camera.
Yeah. Star Wars one's going to be like, what's Boba Fett doing?
You're going to drag Jar Jar Binks. They're going to talk about...
Yeah, here's one. It's going to be... what's a fat, ugly slime ball that runs the country? Mary Harney. Mary Harney, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
Salute.
Sorry, I got distracted by the one they posted 9 hours ago. The KKK Top 100 Music Chart. It came out of nowhere. That one.
That's crazy.
It's like, your mum when you bring a girl home. Oh, sorry, they said your mom when you bring a girl home, because obviously,
Oh, yeah.
SEI. English Lord on a game show, and then the KKK Top 100 Music Chart. You're just sort of like, what are we doing? Where did that come out of?
Yeah. Yeah. Ukrainian fascist on a dating show.
Yeah.
Where did that one come out of?
Yeah.
They need to get into long format, like none of these 3-minute sketches. We need 25 minutes, of when your mom asks your girlfriend for a tampon,
Like Bridget and Eamon, which was on years ago, was based off of a sketch that was on Republic of Telly. And I'm just like, how did RTE not get a sketch, not get like an actual TV show out of them? You know what I mean? I don't think I've seen a Foil Arms and Hog TV show.
No, didn't they have one? Didn't your man from Key and Peele? Key
Peele?
Didn't he do something with them?
Really?
I don't think it ever took off, but I think they were going to have a show that he was going to produce.
Wow.
What are they?
Michael Key.
Yeah.
It's got to be the worst one that made that decision.
Yeah. I hate the other fella.
Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
No, I like him.
He makes the most Reddit tier films I've ever seen. You know?
Well, I'm what's the word I'm looking for? A
Peeler.
Peeler. I like pretty much all of his movies, and I also like what's that one? The one that nobody likes. I like that one
Get Out.
with the cloud. No,
What's the other one called?
Nope.
Yeah, no, what's the other one called?
Us or Them or something.
Yeah.
That one I don't like so much, but I typed in Michael Key produce Foil Arms Hog, and people also ask, are Foil Arms and Hog married?
To each other. Yeah. They all strike me as... I was going to say they all strike me as being married, but maybe the opposite is true.
They are all married, and I think one or two of them have kids.
Married to the job.
Anyway, I can't find anything about that TV show.
One of the great unmade TV shows in history.
Unmade?
Yeah, like Darren Aronofsky's Dune.
Wasn't there like a pilot? If it has a pilot, does that count still?
I don't know. Didn't think that far ahead.
What about Heat Vision and Jack? Look Well? Those two spring to mind.
What are you talking about?
They were like two pilots that didn't get turned into full TV shows.
I'm saying the greatest one is the Key Peel Four Arms and Hog combo.
I thought you were asking me which one I thought was the best.
I would never ask you a question.
Well, I'd never fucking answer it, even though you just heard me answer. But
no, I'd say the greatest unmade show is The Misfits meet Family Guy.
Yeah. And I think it would go a little something. Trying to remember a single character in Misfits.
People
I can't stop thinking about characters from Family Guy.
People used to think that I looked like the guy from The Misfits.
Which one?
The quiet autistic one.
The one who's a pervert.
Which one's that?
He starts off and when they have that lady who touches people, and then anytime she touches them, they want to have sex with her.
Oh yeah.
So she touches him, and the first thing he says is, "I want to piss on your tits."
Yeah,
and they're all like, "What a weirdo!" And then later on, they're all like, "Actually, he's really cool, and he travels in time somehow." I've figured that out. That one entirely. Can't even remember his power.
I think he goes invisible.
Okay. Well.
Or perving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, people just say I look like him.
Well, now he's Ramsay Bolton, or one of the bastards, do you know?
Yeah.
From Game of Thrones.
And the famous show.
I'm not talking about.
What?
Yeah.
What are you not talking about?
No, that he's a bastard, but he's not he is also a bastard, but in both senses of the word.
But what aren't you talking about?
It was meant to be like, and I'm not talking about this way that you would define a bastard.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I know you're going to be like Game of Thrones, and I'm not talking about the royal family.
I'm not talking about a certain orange Cheeto who's... it's like Succession, actually. It's more like, when I say Succession, I'm not talking about frigging Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, what about this? I'm Game of Thrones, more like Game of Tones of Orange. You know?
He is looking exceptionally orange these days, I will say. He looks really bad, to be honest. I really, like, if somebody was to be like, do you think he's going to make it through this term? I would be like, I don't think so.
It is up in the air, isn't it? Like, he's fat and old. And, like, he's looking more and more tired.
He's very frail sounding, isn't he?
And he is letting other people speak for him a lot more.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it in the deleted episode, but it was mad to see Zelensky getting such a bollocking from such like an open bollock.
I don't like Zelensky, so I was kind of, if it were any other person who were saying the same things to him, then I would be, I would have been I would have found it cathartic.
Okay.
But because it was a, Zionist, rapist, like Trump, it's kind of like, basically it's just the alien versus predator thing. It's like, whoever wins, we lose. I don't care at all. But I was watching that through my fucking hands. It is also, you do feel, it's just so humiliating. It was so difficult to watch.
Like, he was getting bullied.
Oh,
like, there's no other way of thinking about it. He was like bullied.
Yeah.
On TV.
Yeah.
And then JD Vance got stuck into him. He was like,
yeah,
you don't say thank you.
Well, I think he started, I don't know how, I couldn't watch, I actually tried to watch the whole thing, okay? The whole thing is 53 minutes, okay? And apparently at about the 49-minute mark is where it starts to go off the rails, okay?
Mm.
And I only have other people's word for this, but like, essentially Zelensky's got pretty clunky English, but also he's very used to saying the same thing again and again. So I don't know whether Vance challenges him first, but at one point Zelensky essentially says, like, we're fighting the war so you don't have to. If we fall, then that means that Russia's going to come to the United States. And he's like, and we've been on. And then this is what he says. You can see Trump just like staring straight ahead, doesn't give a fuck. And then he goes, we've been out of here on our own. Nobody has had our back. And then Trump just, excuse me? It was like reality TV. He's like getting ready to throw his glass of wine in Zelensky's face.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, are you for real? We gave you fucking javelin missiles, And then this is what like Vance was saying stuff where it's like, I've seen people being pulled to the front lines, like you're not interested in peace. And then Zelensky is like, you can't negotiate with these people. He was basically doing like, I just find it a very ugly thing. I think the thing I was trying to articulate is that I fucking hate war, okay? I know it sounds obvious, but I hate everything about it. I'm not like a liberal where I see like, look, we got our own general. How do you like that? I hate that general. I hate all the generals, okay? Like, so anybody who's putting on the costume of war and is going like, no, there's nothing but conflict, okay, and we're gonna win this and we're gonna fight this and we're gonna shell these people to oblivion or whatever. I'm just like, I don't care who's saying it, I don't like you. And so Zelensky decided, I am going to be the ambassador for war and endless conflict, and this idea of like the world is a dark and horrible place and Russia is coming to invade us, and Putin's like Hitler actually, and you think he's going to stop there, he's going to come to Poland and then he's going to come to Ireland and then he's going to come to the United States. And I'm just, and there was a time where Russia fucked up in the early stages of this, and it looked basically like it was kind of in Ukraine's favor, and at that point was like, okay, we can now do a peace negotiation. And then Boris Johnson comes over and goes, no, get back in there. Let's keep going, lads, And so then now it's like pretty much decided. It's kind of like, they're not going to fucking win this. It's not going to happen. There are people being dragged to the front lines. It's just an endless meat grinder, okay?
Yeah.
And Zelensky is up there going like, yeah, we need that to continue, okay? And so I just don't have any respect for him, and I don't like him. I think he's a bad man. And
yeah, I think he was Gaddafi-ified. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying this encounter to your thing, but it was just like, Russia invades, he's right to defend, and then the West gas him up, and they're like, we'll back you to the hilt. But like I said before, their only interest is like weakening Russia,
Yeah.
So they're only going to continue it, not with the hope of winning, but with the hope of just draining Russian resources to weaken it, so that eventually, when peace is reconciled, Russia are like goosed or like, exhausted. Because there's no way you can beat Russia at these sort of things.
Yeah. But there's also like the way that people view this war as well. Like when they go, oh, he's worse than Hitler.
Yeah.
And they kind of have this History Channel idea of World War II. And they kind of go, there's goodies and there's baddies. And the goodies are Ukraine, and we're going to back them to the hilt, like you're saying, Mostly, though, this is just carried out over like land and resources, okay?
Yeah.
Money, This is what dictates most of this stuff. So now these people are doing this rah-rah saber rattling. And, Zelensky, an actor, has been going up wearing a little costume, okay?
Yeah.
If you look, when he wear it, to be honest, I know this is fucking awful, but like when somebody goes, there was some fucking dickhead Fox news guy who was like, why don't you wear a suit when you're in the fucking Oval Office, And I was like, of all the people, I just think he's such a bad politician, and he just doesn't understand what's going on at all. You know? He was used to lecturing Democrats about all this stuff, and then he goes into the White House and in front of TV cameras, which Trump loves, by the way, he loves TV. You tried to be like, call him out a bit in front of TV. And he's like, how dare you do that to me in front of TV? He's like, you think you're going to beat me at TV? I'll fucking beat you at TV. He even says it at the end. He's like, that was great TV, wasn't it? He was just like, fuck you, man. You're an actor. But anyway, they ask him like, why aren't you wearing a suit? And then of all the people that you should be wearing a suit in front of, it's fucking Trump, okay?
Yeah.
He put on a suit. And then he's like, he kind of tried to have it all ways where it's like, Trump's like, yeah, we're going to take your lunch money as well, aka the minerals. Thank you very much. And then Zelensky goes over there and he goes, yeah, I'm going to nobly hand you these minerals, okay? But I want you to know one thing, Mr. Trump. We're fighting this war for you because it's going to come here. And he's like, you're telling me that we got a fucking ocean between us. You wouldn't be anything without us. You think you can fight this war without my weapons?
Yeah.
It was just like, what were you thinking? What was going through your head when you did any of these things? Okay, Zelensky, me to him, And I just find him like, I don't know. What was my whole point? I got distracted giving out about Zelensky. I would also like to point out that his little uniform is like Gaddafi as well, where his little fake military badges, etc.
The uniform doesn't bother me. I'm not as shallow as you. I don't care what they wear.
Well, I'm bringing it up because it's relating to the ambassador for war thing. It's like you put on the costume for war and you say, "Oh, I'm about war." I'm just like, okay, well, fuck you. I hate you for this stuff. You should be about peace. I know that's a lame thing to say, but it's fucking true. It's like
So you're always talking about what people wear, women in particular. No, I do think it should be about like war is just bad, like full stop. And obviously, he gets invaded, so there's an amount you have to do, obviously, but beyond that, chill out. Luckily, we're going to be getting involved in some wars soon, so we can do some. Do you think we can continue the pod when we're on the front lines?
That'll be our infantry, our podcast division, right next to the columnist division.
Yeah.
Fergus Finlay and us just out at the front line, Ukraine calling, Ukraine calling.
Yeah, they're getting rid of the, they're very slowly getting rid of neutrality, faster and faster. But you see, there's a new thing where we're now, if some bloody Egypt goes abroad, the guards go with them, whereas now it's going to be the army.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And then they're trying to dismantle the triple lock, obviously. So that's good.
Which everybody wants, which I mean a bunch of pundits and commentariats who just have the entire space to just say that people want this constantly.
And the Irish subreddit. Don't forget them.
I think they're probably the same people in many instances.
We're buying 5 airplanes.
Great.
We should
Yeah.
do the job.
That should do it. Yeah.
One thing that annoys me is they're always going like, we rely on Britain to police our skies.
Mm.
No one asked Britain to do that.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing it for their own reasons. Just, I don't know. I think we should take advantage of our geographical position. Like, no one wants Ireland to get taken over. But I let them do the work. And I did it before. Those fucking things. The data lines.
Data centers. And the lines. Yeah. Underground cable. Not the underwater cables.
They're not ours. You know what I mean? I just don't see why we have to have an army.
That's what I'm about as well. I mean, that's the because they talk about the triple lock. Like, look, this won't affect our neutrality whatsoever, and it's like, well, then fucking leave it. Why are you getting rid of it? Like, because when you get rid of it, there's one direction of travel. There's something, and like at this moment in time, they're going, trust us. This won't affect our neutrality. Everybody in Europe is going, now is the time of rearmament. Macron is going, hey, maybe you can kind of share our nuclear missiles or whatever, the protection of our nuclear arsenal or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then it's like meeting up with Starmer, and Starmer's talking about like, it turns out there's not enough money to give your granny heating during the winter, but we're gonna suddenly the 22 billion pound black hole in the budget doesn't matter now that we need to buy fucking, I don't know. It just is. We know what's happening, and they're saying, oh, it's not happening, and even if it is happening, then that's actually good.
Yeah, they really are just like brazenly lying. It's mad to see. Like, I know they lie all the time. It's making me so
depressed.
But like, they just want to go to war, and they want like the military industrial complex to invest in Ireland,
Yeah.
And like, that's one of those phrases, I think, the military industrial complex, that always makes you sound like a crank. But it like really does exist.
Yeah.
It's just like the state and the military and the markets working together to make certain people a lot of money. It's that basic. And I think Ireland just wants in. Like,
I think, I get really, we always talk about the commentariat and the punditry and all that sort of stuff here, but I've been going mad. Having them in my head on this constantly, because there's just been an onslaught of article after article about the triple lock, about this type of stuff, this new world that we live in. Everything's changed, everything's unprecedented, and we don't and they're just like, we just need to go to war. We need to go to war, and that's it. Okay. And I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate seeing this, and the opposition that I'm seeing to it is actually very intelligent and articulate, and yet it's on like fucking Twitter. It's not like they're appearing. Like, so Virgin Media, tonight, the host took over. So Gavin Riley's left now. And I thought, oh, I fucking hate Gavin Riley. He just sits there and kind of blinks passively while all this awful stuff is being said. I had no fucking clue. This guy, Kieran McGillicuddy, has taken over. And literally the question he asks is like, why do you want Russia to control troops that are sent overseas, And I was like, what a fucking question. I fucking hate this guy.
What I don't think is solid is what the government are proposing in terms of removing us from the triple lock, for example, and taking the UN mandate away from the deploying of our forces overseas. And these are the areas I think I was disappointed that the Minister didn't actually expand on that in his interview with you earlier, because I think that's a key issue.
Do you know why I didn't ask him about the triple lock? Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't matter at all. That's why I didn't ask him. It's so irrelevant. Like mountain out of a molehill stuff. It's not irrelevant because it's part of our Defence Forces law. Our acts go back to 1960, and every single force that we've sent overseas in part of peacekeeping has been through a UN mandate. Donald Trump the need for a UN mandate has meant that we haven't been able to do that at times either.
Indeed it has. So we need an intellectual debate about that, which is why I'm disappointed that Simon Harris has... Well, we need to discuss...
I've lost count of the amount of debates I've seen on this show and other shows and on radio shows I've presented and listening to other radio shows and in the pages in newspapers and in the Dáil and elsewhere. I mean, how much more do you want to talk about it?
And he starts like pestering and badgering and giving out to them about this stuff. But the interesting thing, so Michael Collins was on the show last night, okay?
Yeah.
And they're talking about a variety of things. And people are correctly dragging Michael Collins from the Irish Independence or Independent Ireland or whatever. He said at one point they kind of start badgering him. They go, "You don't even know what the fucking NGO is." He's like, "I do actually," and well, what is it? Well, we all know what an NGO, and he just can't fucking say it at all.
There is an amount of money being spent with NGOs that is quite questionable. And what I found inside the Dáil today,
which NGOs?
No, one moment. What I found inside.
Come on, have the courage to say which NGOs.
No, I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is inside the Dáil today.
It's easy to put it in a manifesto and stand up in the Dáil.
What I would say today was inside the Dáil today there was TDs in opposition giving out about us mentioning about NGOs when they were NGOs themselves. When they were NGOs themselves before they came into the Dáil. I'm not going to pick out.
But at one point they go, he's like, "We need to get rid of the triple lock so we can help people." This is the host of the show saying, like, obviously the triple lock needs to be gotten rid of to do this. And then Michael Collins is just like, "No, we need to keep the triple lock to retain our neutrality because we shouldn't be getting involved in foreign conflicts, okay?" Yeah. And then he's like, "Explain the triple lock to me." He's basically going like, "Tell me what you fucking think it is," and just badgering him about the triple lock. And then Michael Collins, I was like, perfect response in my opinion, which he's like, "I don't need to know what it is." He just goes, "All I know is that it protects our neutrality and that's what I like, okay? And that's it." And he basically just refuses to engage in that conversation. And I was like, whatever else he says, I was like, that's a model to follow where it's like, don't let these people think like, oh, you're just kind of unserious and you don't know enough information. It's like, no, I just don't like war. And that's fucking it, man. So shut the fuck up, okay?
We don't agree with the triple lock being changed. I said that already to you.
Yeah, but I asked you a question and you haven't answered it. And the question was, why should we, as an independent country, give a veto to the 5 permanent members of the Security Council when it comes to sending Irish troops on peacekeeping missions?
It's quite simple. As I said, we're a neutral country, so we should stay neutral.
That's an answer, we should speak about an answer to a completely different question.
But the bottom line is that is the answer that I'm giving you because that's the facts. That's the true facts that we are. And we haven't been, in fairness, we're not being respected for that by a lot of the media out there.
Yeah, well, sorry, Michael, with all due respect, that's not an answer to the question I asked. So,
what's the answer, as I said, I gave you?
The frog hates war. Michael Collins. Yeah, like that's what you need to say. Like the triple lock was brought in when, like 2003, and then the Anorak wearing Bertie Ahern, and it was to ensure neutrality. Like that was the purpose of it.
Yeah.
So when you get rid of it, you're just getting rid of one of the locks against, or safeguards against.
Like, so here's the argument. So Micheál Martin gets up on the Dáil and he's like, he talks about sovereignty. That was the word that stuck out to me. And when he says about sovereignty, he was like, we should have sovereignty. It's the Oireachtas that should make this decision, okay? And then you're just like, you know, like the thing about sovereignty, that idea of like, you know, we should have the right to make that decision. I was like, well, maybe the Irish people should have had the opportunity to say whether they agreed with your opinion that we should get rid of the triple lock. You didn't run on it at all. We had an election. You didn't fucking say anything about it, okay? You should ask the Irish people as well, like, which would they would prefer their money to be spent on. Would they prefer to be spent on 4 fucking planes that are going to, be obliterated 5. If Russia ever even, like, 5. But you know, it's like, what do you, don't fucking talk to me about sovereignty. It's fucking whole America bullshit. That's the thing that's frustrating me as well about, like, do you remember it's like, you know, oh, his family didn't get to see him be sworn in as Taoiseach before, you know, the noble thing that we all love and cherish. And then when they were annoyed outside, he was like, oh, it's the subversion of democracy. And he's just talking like a fucking American. And now he's talking about this same thing, the sovereignty and the kind of the armed force, and we're there and we support Ukraine and we have to do this and we don't live in and it's like, you know, if we don't live in a safe world anymore, that's America's fault. And you want to cozy up next to them, you know?
And like, the reason they sound like Americans is because they hire American consultants.
Yeah.
So they're basically just downloading American PR into their brains, you know, and then unleashing it on the poor innocent Paddy.
Paddy Stinions. You know, like the mad thing was, do you know, they go like, you remember all the times where we were going, good news, everybody, Ireland is on the UN Security Council. Brian O'Donovan going, they thought it would be Canada, but then at the end of the day, you know, just everybody boasting, showing off. We're at the table. Yay, we love the UN Security Council. Now what we're here, they're going like, oh, boo the UN Security Council because they won't let us go to war because Russia's on it. Oh, Russia, and we hate Russia, and it's sitting on the UN Security Council. It's like, it's a permanent member. It's always fucking been there.
Yeah.
Why did you love the UN Security Council? Now you hate the UN Security Council.
Yeah, Ireland is such a social climber. You know what I mean? It's like, kind of worm. It's like, here we go. Get ready for serious metaphor or simile.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in school, they're a stupid nerd. And then they start sucking up to the cooler nerds. And when they want to get in with they're going to say rugby players because I went to a rugby school. They're like, yeah, the nerds suck so much. They're so gay.
Yeah.
Why can't I be with you guys? You guys can just like flush my head down the toilet and piss in my ear.
This is why it's so frustrating because, like, you know, in the now gone episode, ooh boo, the episode we hate that was before. Okay, we read out parts of an article by Senan Maloney about like, interesting. Martin will have a challenge ahead of him to try and figure out how to navigate this trip to.
I gotta wait for Martin to go to the White House to the Orange House, and
the Orange.
It's going to be
the thing about. Senan Maloney wrote that article. He's written another fucking article about the same thing. He's written 3 articles about like how do we go over and, you know, kiss his ass in a dignified way.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
The thing about Zelensky is that he is quite composed. You know what I mean? Like,
he's an actor.
But like when Trump was giving him a bollocking, he maintained a bit of dignity. Whereas like
he did,
me old Martin, it'll be so interesting. I think in the last episode we were talking about him on the Late Late Show.
Yeah.
Quite a long.
Yeah, because like
it's quite a long chunk of it.
Well, like we should. I mean, maybe I can edit that part out and put it in.
He doesn't, but they do talk about it all the same. Unfortunately for you, this is the end of the free bit. Go to patreon.com/CelticLiars where you can hear the rest. We've got bitching about internet comedy, missiles being built in Belfast to make us safer apparently, the Dáil quorum where the government has the ingenious plan to have their lot show up for work. And finally a Pat Leahy article from the Irish Times. The political editor at the paper of record using his exceptional intellect to analyze the current political landscape. The insight is profound.